Hey guys, so this has been a long time coming since the worldwide download celebration started, but we finally have LR VEGITO Blue. Now, I wanted to do a proper showcase for this guy because I felt that we did not get, you know, the justice that we deserved to kind of record in the beginning of the celebration, you know, right away. We've had a couple of the harder fights in the game come out at this point, so what I wanted to do is kind of like go over this unit across the board in terms of like hard boss fights, talking about like the extreme ones. We will be doing, so in this video alone, we will be doing all of the red zone final bosses. We will be doing Omega Shenron, we'll be doing Cell Max, and then we'll probably call it there. So looking at this guy right here, what we want to do, I want to go over just everything that he is doing, at least in terms of the kit really quickly, and then we will kind of move on into the gameplay, right? So if you guys were here for the Super Saiyan 4 Full Power Goku World Tour, if you will, the format was we broke down the kit and then tried to no item everything in the game, and we've already basically done Omega as well as the Red Zone Goku Black and Zamasu. So we can kind of move on from those fights already when I'm recording this, and you know, one of them you'll see the gameplay when we get there. But let's go ahead and look at this guy in the base form. So that is the Super Saiyan Goku, Blue Goku, and Vegeta portion of this unit, and we have for their leader skill they do Battle of Fate, Future Saga, or Power Beyond Super Saiyan, category 170 to stats, and then the 200% goes to Realm of Gods or Time Traveler, and that's basically it, right? So what we also get is super class. So you know, we when you look at the Time Traveler and Realm of Gods, is like that's a decent 200%, but really what kind of also separates these guys from the rest of the pack in terms of leader skills for the rest of the game is that they give 150% to stats across the board for super class units, and then Zamasu does that for extreme class units. So looking at the super attacks on these guys, they stack defense on their 18 key, and then they stack attack on their 12 key by 30%. So that's kind of just like quickly, we'll go through that. And then we have activates the intro animation and defense plus 100%, and guards all attacks for 4 turns from the start of turn when there's another Future Saga category ally on the team. So Future Gohan, Trunks, and Vegeta, those are like kind of like the 2 main Future Saga units that you'll be seeing, at least in terms of proccing their intro. Key plus 3, tag and defense 100% to start a turn. Key plus 2 per type sphere obtained. Let's see, additional attack and defense plus 50% and attacks effective against all types when there's a Realm of Gods category enemy. So when we're fighting somebody like Zamasu, that will come in handy. Additional attack and defense, or additional defense plus 150% and high chance of evading enemy attack as the first attacker in the turn, so slot 1. Then an additional attack and 100% and defense plus 50%, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack as the second or third attacker in a slot in a turn, so aka slot 2 or slot 3. Then gets a guaranteed additional when key is 20 or more. Then for the active skill, this one is a little bit annoying, but when HP is 70% or less after 5 terms have elapsed, you know, that is where things can get really tricky. And then we also have to have another Future Saga category ally attacking the same turn, or a category Future Saga enemy starting from the 7th turn. So it's like either we get this turn 6 or we get it turn 7, right? And that is where things get really annoying. If we look at the link skills in base, we have Super Saiyan, Prepared for Battle, Warrior Gods, Fierce Battle, Godly Power, Kamehameha, Legendary Power. I'm not going to break down all the categories, but just know that he is on 17 teams. And then with stats, we don't really need to worry about them. Just know that he has the stats at the 55% level. So that was a mouthful, but let's go ahead and move on to the VEGITO portion, and then we can get into the gameplay. So hopefully this intro doesn't take too long, but you can see it's already taking a little bit. So on VEGITO, the leader skill obviously stays the same. On his 18 key, we have greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage, and raises superclass allies defense plus 50% for 1 turn. So obviously that's really good support when he gets his 18 key. Then on his his 12 key super attack, we have greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy, and lowers attack and defense. So obviously that is helpful as well. So moving on to the passive, we have key plus 5, attack and defense plus 250% for at the start of turn, plus an additional key plus 2 per type key, or for key sphere obtained. So that's obviously really easy to get with Rainbow and type key. Reduces damage received by 30% before attacking, reduces damage received by 20%, high chance of evading enemy's attack, including a super attack, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack in slot 1, launches an additional super attack and a medium chance of launching another additional super attack as the second or third attacker in a turn, and launches an additional super attack when activating the active skill or when key is 20 or more, which is obviously super easy when you have you know, the extra key per sphere obtained. So With the active skill, it's called the God Impact. It causes ultimate damage to the enemy within the turn activated, and within the turn activated, it evades enemies' attacks, so it cannot be hit after you activate the active skill, or he cannot, excuse me. And then can be activated when HP is 50% or less, or when facing only one enemy whose HP is 50% or less. So this is very similar to what we had with the Year 7s, where whenever you need it, you have it. So the link sets do change up a little bit. We now have Over in a Flash, Power Bestowed by God, and I believe that's Infused Fighter, rather than the other 3 links that were on the base form. But Super Saiyan, Warrior Gods, Over in a Flash, Power Bestowed by God, Fierce Battle, Fused Fighter, and Legendary Power. So that was a mouthful, but that is everything that this Vegito is doing. What we'll be mainly doing is looking at him on the kind of Trunks of Vegeta team, as well as his own. But like I said, we'll be kind of working our way up the difficulty ladder in terms of the bosses that we'll be facing. So with all that being said, let's go into the first fight, which will be Red Zone Omega. I'll see you guys over there. Oh, look, guys, when I was recording, the Chi-Chi's login bonus is here. Let's see what we get. Oh boy, here we go. Are we ready for Piccolo, ladies and gentlemen? Here he comes. Woohoo! It's Goku! Whoa, we got it! Okay, moving on with the video. Okay, so we are now over here at the Red Zone Omega Shenron fight. This will be the team we'll be rocking because we'll be actually be able to use the Buu duo in a fight where they won't just completely fraud us out, knock on wood. But I think this team should work out just fine. We'll be obviously running 2 of the Vegeta or Goku and Vegeta leader skills, and in this specific case, this is actually going to work out pretty nicely because we have a Future Saga ally on the team, so that way we'll be able to trigger his intro animation. So that'll help out a decent bit. So like at least we do have that going, and certainly what we can go ahead and do with that being said is we'll float him on the rotation just for the sake of doing it, but obviously that is not the way we would want to do it, just like in theory, right? So there we go. Let's go ahead and save these orbs for the next turn because we don't really need them with the seal. It doesn't matter. We'll grab these ones on this side and this side, excuse me, and then we'll do this. So let's look at the first turn without the Future Saga category and ally on the team, and then we will get the intro on the next one, and we should be good to go from there. So this should work out pretty nicely. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that we are getting this this out of the way right now, right? So now we don't have a chance to raise our defense or anything like that. So, you know, 165,000 there is not great, but again, that should be a healable number. So we're looking at 6.4 right there, which isn't terrible, but is also not the best I've ever seen. But we'll see. But let's go ahead and just move on with this turn. And like I said, we'll be I'm not expecting, you know, this is a fight that they're necessarily designed to just absolutely shred, but it also shouldn't be too bad, right? Like this is a unit where they can look pretty, or a fight where they can look pretty decent, right? Because these guys are usable in every single fight in the game. Like, don't let anybody let you get it twisted, right? Like this unit is usable literally everywhere. So we'll finish up this turn. Again, good start right here from this Goku and Vegeta, and then hopefully in this fight we can get Vegito. But again, that one might be kind of tough. We might have to wait till later on to do that. So I'm just letting this turn finish up, but we'll be back when we get to the hard part of this fight. So whenever we get to in Omega, we will, or the final fight, what's it called? Yeah, again, it's against Omega. When we get to the final fight versus Omega, we'll be back. Okay, so we have finally made it back to the fated turn 8 against Omega here. You guys can see that we do have Vegito coming out, so let's go ahead and pop that while we're here, and we'll go ahead and get moving from there. Let's actually, I gotta make sure it's not skipped. Okay, let's go ahead and what do you got for me, Vegito? What do you got? Let's go ahead and fuse for me. Okay, just considering that we're going to probably win the fight on this turn anyway, let's go ahead and do this active skill now with Vegito, and then we will we'll be all set here. Okay, so now that we have done that active skill, we are now in the position where we can just comfortably dodge all of these attacks, let him do his supers, and we will be out of here with a pretty low effort no item run here. I'm not even gonna bother with the standby on Goku and Vegeta. There's no point because that might just kill anyway. So again, like I said, we're dodging right here. Like he can't hit us even with that countdown. It doesn't matter. But let's see. So 9.1, and again, this isn't his best setup, but at least in terms of like doing difficult content and no items, I think this is a pretty good look for him. So 9.1 right there, and if this doesn't kill, we'll go ahead and do another super, and all will be fun, right? So here we go, second super for 6.5. Looks good. Again, that'll probably be the only time we do the active skill and the, you know, and not just skip it in this video, but there we go. So that is the Omega Shenron run done. Let's go ahead and move on to Broly. I also have to show the no item run just to show you there was no funky business. So here you guys go. No item run using the double VEGITO team. Like I said, let's move on to Broly. All right, it's time for Broly. You guys can see this is the team we are going to be rocking with. A little bit of a different setup from last time, but I figured it would be kind of fun to just kind of switch up the setup a little bit. We have lucked out both times in terms of the rotations because we've managed to get the Future Saga ally on rotation. So we should be able to proc both of the intros right here for Goku Vegeta as well as Vegeta and Trunks. So again, I guess we'll let this play because we haven't played this during the video yet, but yeah, go ahead and take it away. Okay, so now that we are all set up with the intros and whatnot, I'll go ahead and play this turn out, and we will be back when it's time for the last phase. So I'll catch you guys when we are on full power Broly. All right, so we're back. We're fusing into VEGITO, as you guys can see. We are in an interesting spot. I think, honestly, there is a good chance that we could just lose right here, just because of Trunks and Vegeta. It just depends on how many supers they take. We'll check defense and all that fun stuff, but this is the rainbow one, so I can't get, like, the perfect gauge on these guys, but we can at least take like half a look, right? So VEGITO is at 535k, Trunks and Vegeta are at 436. You know, these guys, he does raise enemy or allies defense by 50% on super and all that, or on the 18 key, but the problem is that we're not going to be able to what's the word, reliably get it, due to just kind of the way the orb, not the way the orb spread is, but I can't afford to throw him in slot 1 because then Trunks and Vegeta will lose their guard, and that's when things are going to kind of get a little bit messy. So hopefully, you know, Trunks and Vegeta don't just like, you know, this is going to hurt, but the idea is that they take roughly 240, 250k right here. But if we get into like the 400k range, we are just in trouble, right? So 198 is definitely manageable. Another one is going to sting, but again, it won't kill, and it's going to come down to whether or not, you know, Goku ends up guarding. But we also will be able to get a pretty impressive turn next turn because I, you know, I bought time, not bought time, but we'll be able to set up VEGITO with the LR Blue duo from the 7 years. So that's going to be a extremely impressive looking turn. And VEGITO, again, it just depends on how many supers he does right here, but we were looking at a nice 10.1 million, so a nice little upgrade from the last turn that we saw, but we are kind of, again, looking for, you know, him not to super in the second slot. So, you know, we're going to do a lot of damage here. There's no doubt about that. So, you know, so 10.1, now we're up to 7.2, so we're up to, what is that, 17.3? Pretty good, maybe round up to 17.4 or so. And then, so there we go. We are at 7.6. So, what is that, 25.2? Yeah. Wait. 17.2 plus 7. Yeah, no, my bad. It might be 24. I'm trying to do the math quickly. It's kind of hard. It's a lot of math, right? Just, we're roughly around, like, 24 now. We're roughly around 32 million right here. So, we're up to, like, a 32 million attack stat, roughly. There we go. And, and that could have been another super, and that would have put us up at, like, 40 million. So, there you go. VEGITO looking very impressive, and it is going to come down to World Tournament Goku guarding right here and all that fun stuff. If he does, we're good. If he doesn't, we might be in trouble. But we'll see. Who knows? Who knows? Double digits, yeah, we're good. So now on this next turn here, this is where things can kind of get real, right? We have a lot going on here because we have a slot 1 just machine. Let's go ahead and let's skip these active skills just because we've been doing them, you know, the whole video, and we'll be here all day. So we'll go ahead and bring these guys out, or we'll go ahead and bring the blue duo out. And we do have their active skill, so maybe what we could do in theory, right? We'll see how much damage we can do right here, right? So let's throw these guys in slot 2, and we'll do their active skill first. Yeah, it does like a nice 8.7, right? And then we throw this guy back at slot 2, and now we grab these, and then we do it again. So now, you know, we really have like an impressive turn that we're going to be able to see from Vegito as well as the LR God. So if this was a normal event, like I mentioned earlier, we would be able to dodge all of these attacks in slot 1. But unfortunately, the way that this event is designed, we cannot do that because Broly obviously disables dodge. So that's what made this fight age so well, and it's still really difficult because, you know, just being able to disable dodge makes things tough, right? Like, this is my first try, but this is also like an extremely overpowered team. So this is not like a true gauge on just how good, you know, or how hard Broly is, because this is just a team that, you know, it would take quite a lot for us to not, you know, do what we need to do. Right, so boom, there we go. And now, so this is 55% Vegito. We are now looking at 7.8. So, but keep in mind, this is a much better scenario for him with like the LR gods being around and stuff like that, and then God Goku. Just because, you know, we already looked at, what's the word? Him at 100%, and again, if the 100% one was on this rotation, it would look much different, right? So right there, we were basically at 7.9, and then what was that, like 5.6, I think it said? I could be wrong, but like we were like north of 5 million. So there we go, we're up to like 13, and then there's a super right there for 6, basically, so we're up to like 19 right here. Again, it's a significant downgrade, but that's also like 4 dupes worth of attack, so, you know, don't take it with a grain of salt. But again, there we go, that's pretty impressive from Vegito, and then we're not even going to get to see the LR Blue Boys, unfortunately, on this turn, unless this just manages to not do enough damage, but I believe it will. So Vegito cleaning up, there we go. That was the Broly red zone no item. Nothing too crazy, but, you know, we did lose a decent amount of HP, but I never really felt like we were going to just like straight up lose the run. So, you know, all in all, pretty well. I believe after this one, we have the Cell Max fight, so we'll move on to that when we show the no item run. All right, come on now. Need this game to load. There we go, 14 minutes. So there we go. On to Cell Max. Okay, so we are over here on Cell Max, trying a bit of a different approach. You guys won't see it, but we did take the L on the first run. Cell Max decided to lock this bad boy in slot 1 and supered him for 1.6 mil. So nothing we could really do there. No post revival buff or anything like that. So this is the team we're going to be rocking out with this time. Hopefully we can float off Vegito and potentially see his, you know, a double Vegito blue turn that'll really just do a ton of damage. So this is the setup we're going to be rocking with for this specific instance. Let's do this. I feel like this is the safer play right here. Just because these guys have potentially, they can guard, they can dodge, and we could also have the Rainbow GT Duo as a friend, and then we need to float off one so we can make sure that we have them on the next rotation. So, again, not doing much dodging here, but we are guarding. They dodged the important one, so there you go. Oh, it's the bad screenshot. Nobody look. Everybody look away. Nobody saw that. Okay. What I'm gonna do, because like I said, I tried to do this all in one take on the last one, and it ended up taking like 6 to 7 minutes. So I will be back when we get to the tech portion of Cell Max. So see you guys in like 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so now we are back with the fun stuff. Trunks and Vegeta, unfortunately, have not had a ton of time to build up, but that is where we bring in this bad boy. Full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku with that standby is going to be giving us that 70% defensive buff that we will need. So long as, I'm not even going to say what I need to not go wrong here, because then it will go wrong. So we'll wait until it doesn't happen, and if it does happen, it did happen. But I don't think this is going to kill. We have 70% buff, we have guard. 460 is a lot, but again, it's going to come down to the GT Duo after their super, I think, and then this is why that I decided to float, or not float, but keep a GT Duo on rotation for this exact situation where Cell Max just thinks he's a funny guy, you know? Trunks and Vegeta were not able to fully build up, unfortunately, just because, like you guys can see, we are on turn 4, so we need a little bit of a bailout here, but I think, again, with that 70% defense and then the damage reduction that we have from these guys, they will survive a normal, but a super, again, will give us a little bit of trouble. But again, I don't even, the fact that I put it in the air is bad, but at this point, we need to get lucky, right? So everybody with me, we're going to put our hands together, and we're going to say, Cell Max, please don't super. All right, you said it. This is like an episode of Dora the Explorer, right? What does the screen say? And then it's going to say, Cell Max, don't super, please. He didn't super. All right. You guys did it. It worked. But now... Oh, now... Yeah, so this is perfect. Okay. So, please don't be a dick. Please. Don't do it. 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 Yeah, perfect. Okay. This is literally exactly what I wanted. So now, what we have... This will be like a good, this is good short territory right here, right? This is this is good. So let's go ahead and do the thing. We will grab this as well. We'll do the active skill with Vegito just to make sure that he can't be funny and super us. So now we have guaranteed dodges, but let's go ahead and do this, right? Double Vegito. Vegeta standby. Let's see what this turn can do. I think just overall, it's going to do like a decent amount of damage. Like you can already see we're 24 key across the board, right? Like this is going to be pretty nutty. We shall see. So boom, guaranteed dodge right there. Yeah, exactly. He can't hit the first 2 units, and then the idea is that he hits Vegeta. We get the revive, then we can throw like post World Tournament or revival buff World Tournament Goku in slot 1, and he can tank it or something like that. Yeah, but like we're already cooking, right? We're 2 supers in. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good time. This is the turn that we were looking for in the video. So we did get the double Vegito turn, and woo, that's a big jump. We were just at like 7 million, weren't we? That is a big jump between supers. Oh my god. Okay, Vegito. Here we go. Boom. Yeah, that was good. That was impressive. He put up a decent amount. That was good. And then we got 9.2 from a 55% Vegito. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. And how many supers are you gonna do? This is gonna be good. Okay. There's 2, so 6.4. And keep in mind we do have like a pseudo item active with the standby, but it's not an item. It's just what it does is like an item. All right, so boom, here we go. That's super number 2. We are on to super number 3, a 6.9 there. Oh man, this is a good turn. And guess what? He also can't hit us. So this is gonna be lit. Here we go. Boom. Nice. Okay, not as many supers from him, but still a very impressive turn. Okay, there we go. And we snuck one more in. There we go. So 4 supers. From that Vegito, I believe we had 4 from the tech one, and now we are going to die, get the revival, and we're going to see some more damage from the GT Duo standby. Yep, good try, jackass. That's why we do what we do. Guaranteed dodges, and now we have 9.9 from them, and then we're going to do the standby, and we are going to be out of here, and that is the no item run for Cell Max with the double Vegito. So, again, I can't imagine this doesn't kill right here. This standby. If this doesn't do a bar of health at the rainbow level, then we have a problem, Vegeta. So here we go. We get the coveted pan KO screen. So there we go. Cell Max, no item run. Oh, I accidentally skipped it. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay. There we go. So now we'll be moving on to the Red Zone Metal Cooler Core, and then we have to do Red Zone Cell Max, and then I believe that's all for the video. So let's go ahead and show the no item run, and then we'll move over to the Red Zone Metal Cooler Core. So I will see you guys over there. Okay, so now we are over here doing the Metal Cooler Core Red Zone. I wanted to try something a little bit different for this run, where I brought double of the 5-year anniversary LRs, because I feel like that Gogeta turn for the Metal Cooler Core will be pretty disgusting. So I felt that it would be kind of fun to just throw that into the video because, you know, last turn we had the Tech Vegito show. Let's give STR Gogeta a little bit of love in this video as well, just to further demonstrate the capabilities of this leader skill that the Blue Boys have. I think it's just as part of the World Tour is like we can show the versatility of the team that we can run when we run 2 of these guys, because you guys can see we have the GT duo. We can run LR God Goku on this team. We've got both of the 5-year users. I said LR God Goku, but the Easy A God Goku with the damage reduction against the movie boss, which is what this Metal Cooler is. And we've got the 5-year Easy A's just doing their thing, going stupid. Like I said, Gogeta's going to go absolutely crazy turn 4. So we will be able to get those guaranteed dodges in. So the way this is going to work is the next time we see Vegito, he's going to have guaranteed dodges that we can throw in slot 1 and whatnot. And then we got other STR units, like stuff like that. So this will be fun. I think just for the sake of like kind of changing up the way we do things, we will do that. So again, I will be back when we get to the Metal Cooler Core portion of this, excuse me, and I'll see you guys over in the physical phase. Okay, so we are now here at the fun zone, if you will. Can we bring out Vegito yet? We cannot. It's turn 4. You stupid dummy. So this is where things get interesting, right? I'm banking on one thing. We're gonna do this because next turn is going to be a movie. We got the 24 key with these guys. Vegito will get his 18 key, and then we'll grab those rainbow orbs right there. Again, we have guaranteed dodges right here, so that was kind of the plan right there. And then God Goku, we have nothing to worry about in terms of like the hits he's going to be taking. And then 6.3 right here. And then I believe on the next turn, again, because we will be seeing Gogeta Blue next turn, so we can throw him in slot 1. And he will be able to do the same thing that Vegito is doing, but with type advantage. What we will be able to do, I believe, is bring out the GT Duo standby here in a minute as well, because we have Gohan, Goku, and I believe we will have another Blue Duo on the rotation next time. So it's going to look interesting. So 8.4 right there from them. Again, in a fight format like this, it's going to be tough to bring out Vegito Blue, unfortunately. But again, that is why we kind of, you know, this is like the we have Vegito Blue at home type thing, right? Where Tech Vegito Blue is insane, but it's not quite this Vegito Blue in terms of like the defensive stuff that he's doing, right? But you could argue that guaranteed dodges on turn 4 is better defensive utility than whatever the AGL Vegito Blue is bringing to the table. But you know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Tech Vegito Blue is better. Literally all I'm saying is just the best defensive turn for Vegeta, the Tech Vegito, is objectively better because he literally can't take damage. So that's all I'm saying. But again, right here, we should be good. Double digits from that one, and then we do have Gogeta Blue coming out now. So what we need is for him to go into slot 1. He's going to do his thing, get that damage up. I believe, actually, we'll have to see. Hold on, let me see how this turn's going to play out. Who did he lock? Did he lock somebody? No, he sealed Gohan. Okay, that could be a little problematic. So what we want to do is put you here. We will grab these. Yeah, so yeah, we'll grab those. It's going to be tough to get his 18 key, huh? Yeah, we'll grab these, I guess, and then we'll grab these. So this is going to be a tough turn. We just need to get out of it. That's the idea, right? I just need you to, unfortunately, with the key, the way that played out right there, that just was not great. But what we need now is for the super to be in slot 1, because Gohan will be able to take 2 normals, but he will not be able to take a super. So yeah, Gogeta, there we go, 10 million. That's pretty good. But again, we do absolutely need him to super right here in this phase, or in this against this Gogeta, right? So please do. He didn't. Okay, this is not looking good for this run. These guys just are not, they're not equipped to deal with Metal Cooler Core Super the way that they are. Like, this is just not, like, I'm not setting them up for failure. It's just, this is not like, this is not where they're going to look their best, right? But he didn't take it, so now Gohan does have his guard active. It just comes down to the super, right? And we got lucky. Okay, so lucky turn right there. Is he locking the GT Duo, or is he sealing them? Because there is a difference. He is sealing them. So what we'll do is we'll grab Tech Vegito's active skill. We'll pop that. That's going to do a decent amount of damage. 7.7 right there. And now Vegito can afford to take 1 hit right here in the front, so long as it isn't, you know, the thing. We won't even say it, because I don't want to put it out there, you know what I mean? So we will be at full HP going into this next hit. So we just need to get out of this 1 hit. We did. Now we're good. You know, 11 million right here. There is a good chance that Tech VB just cleans up right here, because this is going to be a very impressive turn for him, especially after his active skill. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, because we're already starting off with like 11 million right here. Now we're moving on to 8.4, and then we're going to do another one after this, and then, you know, the crits are coming in. We're at 9.1. I don't know if we're going to kill in 2 more supers, but we shall see. So boom, there we go. We did not get that last one that we needed, so it is going to come down to these guys, but they are at 7.7 million at this point, and we do have a guaranteed super coming after this. Again, it's going to be close, but if we do get a crit, we're just done. So 2.6 right there, and then, yeah, we will be getting probably a triple super right here, so we will be able to get the no item run done for the Metal Cooler Core, and now all we have to do is Red Zone Cell Max, and then we can call it a video. So there we go. Metal Cooler Core, no item. Again, Tech Vegito Blue kind of carried there, but then again, that just shows you the power of the 5-year LRs. This fight, I'm not going to say was designed for them, but it certainly is a good medium for them to look just astonishing, right? Tech Vegito right there just put the team on his back and went crazy on that fight. And he looked super impressive while doing it. So there we go. Metal Cooler Core, no item run. Let's move on to Cell Max, and then we will move on and do the last 2 fights of the video. Okay, so for the last live recording of these videos, we are going to be doing the Cell Max fight. So we are going to have 2 more after this, being the what is it? The no item run for Omega Shenron, as well as the no item run for Goku Black and Zamasu. But I did the no item run for Omega Shenron live, so we will re-commentate that, and then we'll also do another version of commentary for the Goku Black and Zamasu fight. So I just want to let you guys know that ahead of time, but this is going to be the last of the, from this recording session, this is going to be the last one that I do. So no need to click off the video or anything like that. I'm just letting you know that, like, you still will be seeing 2 more fights after this one, but it is going to be a little bit different of a format, because I don't want to, you know, if you guys know from the stream, Omega Shenron took me to hell and back. Like, that no item run took so long to do. And honestly, doing it twice was just not on my short list today. So I was like, listen, I've gotten the no item run like 2 to 3 times at this point in my Dokkan career. I'll show you the footage from the stream, and we'll go ahead and do that from there. But again, with this fight right here, this is a 1-phase fight, so I'm not going to do any cuts. And we'll just kind of like play this one live. This one's kind of annoying just because of the type changing and stuff like that, because, like, again, right here with like the GT Duo being in slot 3, they are just definitely on that on that short list for being fraudulent, but again, it's just kind of like what you got to do, right? Like that revival that they have is going to be so valuable, especially with them floating, or we throw one on rotation or something like that. But that's literally like what we have to do in order to play this one, because it just gets tough, right? So there we go, 4.8 from them at 55%. So that is pretty good. There we go. Ooh, okay, cool. Yeah, the thumb just came in. It's fire. Did the Drake vocals come in yet? Yeah, something like that, right? So boom, here we go. Letting them do their thing. I wouldn't mind if they throw a super at me right here, because we wouldn't die from it. Again, like there, so there we go. That's 3 supers from them. Just need to build them up as much as possible for the going phases, because there is a chance that we do get to like, what's the word? We end up getting, wow, okay. Was that 4 supers or was that 3? Because I'm trying to do 2 things at once. You can probably hear the clicking, but that's pretty impressive. I mean, okay, so there we go. So now we have guard and we got a bunch of attack stacks in, but now the problem is, you know, Cell Max is over there like licking his lips, right? He's like, oh yeah, he messed up. He didn't, yeah, okay, we got lucky with the super. Phew, he supered right there, we were dead. All right, Trunks, it's Piccolo time. Or it's Piccolo and Gohan time. Gohan's going to be getting extra ki from the Piccolo support. And he also does have his guard from this, so we will be just fine. So boom, there we go. If you want to go ahead and super anybody, go ahead and super Piccolo, build him up. And then we can go orange later on in the fight and take that away as well. So, you know, kind of like I said, I will give like my final thoughts when I'm doing the final fight and stuff like that. But again, this, you know, some prelude to the final thoughts is this Vegito is just very, very fun to use, aside from him being very, very good, right? Like, I just am having such a fun time using this unit because, you know, you have fun animations, it's a hype unit, and just seeing, like, you know, a unit at 55% in slot 2 doing, like, 5 supers and stuff like that is always just fun because, you know, you're used to 55% units doing, like, 2 to 3 supers, but this guy's doing, like, 4 to 5 every time, and that's incredible. So, all in all, that just makes it a really fun time. Like, it's just, you know, it's really good for this game when they make units that are just fun to use, because ultimately, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one in the world that is coming from the perspective of, you know, I like, above all else, I just want to enjoy the unit that I'm using and have like a good time throwing them on different teams, trying different setups and stuff like that, because like at the end of the day, the way I kind of evaluate difficult content is like I do videos ranking like units and stuff like that, but to me what's important is, can I enjoy using the unit? Are they at least usable? And, like, is there, like, a lot of setups for them, right? Because, you know, at the end of the day, Dokkan is a collecting game and stuff like that, in my opinion. And when you're doing difficult content like Omega or these new Red Zone stages, especially when they do limited attempts, it's like, I go in for the first time, I get my no item run, I do whatever missions are there, and then I don't really touch it after that, right? And I'm sure I'm not the only person with that mindset. And I'm not to say, like, you know, if you're somebody that likes to go back in and just try different stuff in that difficult content, I think that's completely okay. But just the perspective that I have about this game at this point is literally just, like, get the stones from it and then just kind of chill out and just play the game, right? Just, like, do whatever. So, ooh, nice. That was a clutch dodge right there from Trunks of Vegeta. But, it's like with this Vegito, it's like, yeah, sure, like turn 5 or whatever, like when you can't fuse, they can definitely get caught, right? Like they can look suspect defensively and stuff like that, but to me, that's all outweighed by the fact that when you do get Vegito out, it's just a blast, right? He is just a really, really fun unit to use, and to be honest, I just don't care that he's not, like, literally perfect offensively and defensively in both phases, because, you know, this video is proof alone. Like, you're going to see in all of the hard fights in the game, not literally every single hard fight, but I am covering a marathon of the final bosses of this game, right? Goku Black and Zamasu Red Zone, Omega, Cell Max, Metal Cooler Core, Cell Max Red Zone, all of these fights, Broly, Omega, these guys are going in and they know item to every single one, right? So that's going to be like your proof, right? And if, like, you know, you want to go back and do the Goku Red Zone, the Goku Black Red Zone, right? They're type advantage in the first phase with guard, so they'll be fine. So, you know, the Goku Black Red Zone, so this would be a nice gauge right here, especially after 2 turns of doing like stacking and stuff like that. Boom, type neutral, 86,000. That's pretty good. And like I said, you know, no iteming all of the hard content in the game, it's just proof. And this is a 55% one, right? I know you guys saw a lot of the rainbow one in this video, but that's also just me trying to do it. Like, because at the end of the day, no item runs for the most part. Very few fights in this game have a no item run mission at this point, right? Oh, this could be bad. Just don't kill, please. 142. Okay, phew. We're gonna get revival buffs right here because, you know, I just can we bring Super Saiyan 2 out too? No, we can't. It's not far enough in the fight. But let's go ahead and do this. I'll grab this. We'll make sure we get the buff right here from that. We'll keep Piccolo on rotation, but we will do let's get some damage in first. So we'll do this, right? We'll make sure that we get the 18 key with him, and then, you know, that one hit is going to take out Vegeta, or, yeah, take out this Vegeta, so that's fine. And then we'll do this, right? So now, this rotation is going to look pretty impressive, because I don't think this super is going to kill Piccolo, but it could do a little bit, right? So here we go. Boom. Yeah, not double digits. Yeah, never mind, I lied. It's that guard. He's stupid. But, so now we have 24 key, putting in a 12 million attack stat right here at 55%. And getting in all that damage, and then also Vegeta is going to do a little bit of damage because Piccolo got hit and gave 2 key to the rotation now, right? So I believe Vegeta is doing his 18 key. He is. So he's going to get that free damage in, and then also take probably 200, 300k from a normal, and then we are going to be good to go. And if, guess what? If we don't get the standby right here because this game is being dumb, we can just do the other one and try it again on this next turn. So 7.5 right here. We'll go ahead and get that big damage in, and then we will move on to the next turn, and the typing is going to reset soon. So here we go. Boom. It would have been nice to see... you know, this blue Vegito in this specific instance, but here we go. This standby is going to do a little bit of damage, nothing too crazy. You know, 6 million is really not that good, but here we go. Moving on to the next phase, we have, oh, now we're physical, so, what are you guys at this point? So the guard has kind of went away. Yeah, so we'll stick with the type advantage for Trunks and Vegeta. That kind of sucks that I have to do that, but that's just the way the game is played. You know, I'll trust the guard with the higher defense, even though despite it being type disadvantage, and they're fully built up at this point, and you know they also do have that potential to dodge, just right there, see, right on cue. Trunks and Vegeta, yeah, 5 million right here, and then we're gonna have you know, Blue Vegito or Goku and Vegeta come in, do their thing, get some damage in, and we should be good to go. So boom, here we go, bam, 600k. Look at that damage. That's some big boy damage right there, my boy. And I believe we're coming up soon on being able to use orange, but I'm not sure if I want to use orange in this video. The problem is I'm pretty sure we're coming up on the fraudulent Piccolo turn, but we'll see how much damage, you know, Super Saiyan 4, or, you know, the GT duo does going into the next turn. With them being rainbow, that's definitely going to help. So double digits right there from Trunks and Vegeta. We basically got this Cell Max where we want him at this point. We've got everything built up. We're going to have post Revival Buff World Tournament Goku to throw in slot 1. We'll have Piccolo for slot 2. This is going to be a ball and turn next turn. So I believe he was just int recently too. So it's like the super effective against all types doesn't even matter. And then right there, you know, that was not a great showing right there from them. But Cell Max also raises his attack on super. So not a great thing. And that's why if you do pull dupes for that unit, you definitely want to build them with dodge. So here we go. Boom. Decent damage. You know, 6 million right there. That's the same amount that the standby did at 55%. But, you know, this is also a 4 dupe difference. So hopefully we get 3 to 4 supers right here. We can get some real big boy damage in. Nice. So now this likely will leave us with one more turn on this one, like I said, because now we have post Revival Buff World Tournament Goku, and we also have orange. We're not going to use orange. I just, like, it's going to make the video too long, right? We just don't need to use it. Obviously, you know, if you're playing for, like, if you're trying to be optimal with the play style, you do it, but I think World Tournament buff Goku as well as Piccolo will be more than enough to take this down. So again, this super isn't doing anything to Goku. But after he gets the revival and stuff like that from the GT Duo, it's just it's curtains for the boss, right? I think this guy's just insane. So now we're doing 5.6 mil without like the Dragon Ball Link set or anything like that. But you know, again, this is just going to be dumb, right? So here we go. Boom. Get this attack in. He is at 90%, by the way. So it's like, aside from pulling Vegito himself, this has been the highlight of my my worldwide download celebration summons this year, is the fact that I pulled this guy 4 times. So, you know, he'll be rainbowed before you know it. Obviously, I'm not going to coin that final copy. The difference between 90 and 100% is nowhere near worth 500 stone or 400 coins. So, boom, here we go. If we get a crit, we'll probably be just done on this specific instance right here. We did not. So Orange Piccolo is going to send us home, but there we go. So that's going to wrap it up for the non-pre-recorded runs, but I am going to use pre-recorded runs in this case, as the Goku Black and Zamasu fights are extremely fluky, as well as the Omega Shenron fight. So it's just, I would rather give you guys the successful run that I had using the blue Vegito in there, and we'll kind of go ahead and move from there. So again, for this recording session, we'll be moving on to pre-recorded runs, and I will specify that this was from a stream. You'll see a difference in the overlay for the Omega Shenron fight, and then for the last fight, we will be it'll be back to what we saw at the first place, I believe. So with all that being said, there we go, Cell Max Red Zone. Let's go ahead and move on to Omega Shenron, and then after that, we have Goku Black and Zamasu, and then it's all she wrote. So no item run for everything in this recording session. There we go. Okay, so we have made it over to the pre-recorded kind of gameplay portion of this specific video. So kind of what I want to talk about going forward is we have, what's the word? It's like, the Omega fight is interesting because it's just such a long fight. And this fight, I'm not going to lie, getting the no item with Vegito and the Goku and Vegeta unit, it beat my ass. Like, I was here for a while trying to get this one. Like, longer than I care to admit. This took me like all day on Saturday to figure out. So eventually when I finally did get the no item run, that definitely felt like pretty good. Again, it's like doing like the post commentary. I guess what we could do while we kind of let like the initial like the last 2 runs of this video play out is just I kind of want to like do like a dedicated section to talk about like my final thoughts on the unit, what I would have done to make it better, what I would have done, what I think they could have done better overall with the unit and stuff like that. Just as like I said, you're hearing me click because I'm going to talk about their kit, right? So let's talk about the first thing, right? I think that they did a phenomenal job with this unit's active skill, not active skill, excuse me, is intro skill. I think it's very simple, it's effective. I think it's very easy to get. I think the animations for this unit in base are just okay, and Vegito Blue's 18 key is phenomenal, and then the 12 key is just alright, right? I think when it comes to simple things like their active skill in Vegito, the condition is not good, but the active skill animation is very nice, and when you do get to Vegito, you are rewarded substantially with a unit that is just going to be doing a little bit of everything, right? Offensive power, he has it. Defensive power, he has it. Utility, he has it in the form of his active skill, where you are getting the guaranteed dodges after you proc the active skill, which is not too hard to get. Again, this is exactly like the 7-year anniversary way to do it. Like, the way to put this is like, if you need it, you will have it, right? And that's where I think these specific fights kind of come down, like especially something like this. It makes it so much easier to kind of do what you need to do when the boss doesn't disable dodge, right? Because like you guys saw in the beginning of the video, when I fought Broly, that was where this unit really could get caught because, again, you can't do the dodge. And then they have dodge utility in the first and the beginning phases and stuff like that. Like, they just do a lot. And I think, you know, it comes down to just being like, what makes this unit to me, like, such a big deal is, like, this is going to be, like, I guess, like, this is kind of why I would like him to be a little bit better, because, like, this is not the undisputed #1 unit in the game, right? And that is what we needed from this unit, in my opinion. It's, like, maybe not what we needed, but I think that is, like, the most desired thing for the community, right? Because this guy, this AGL Vegito Blue, he is going to be synonymous with the game's syncing. And you saw the cut right there. In the traditional format, like I've been doing with these videos, is every time we go to, you know, the second portion of this fight, we just kind of cut to the important stuff, right? So I'm just going to let the full gameplay kind of go here. Like I said, for the rest of this, like I said, this is a very, very long fight, right? Because like Omega here, we still have like a lot of time left on like the little recording on the bottom in Premiere, and we are not even close to being done yet, right? We're on turn 10, and we still have like at least like 6 to 7 minutes left of this fight. So again, like I'm saying with this Vegito, is this guy is going to be the face of the most important development in terms of like the game's syncing, right? When the game's synced, with this, like, you know, when the version synced, excuse me, that was the biggest, like, announcement this game could have possibly made, right? Akin to things like, oh, all Dragon Stones are free, or something like that, right? Like, that's just, you know what I mean? Like, if we're just being realistic, like, what is more exciting, what is more anticipated, what is more of, like, a finally type of moment than the versions finally syncing, right? Like, that is something we have been clamoring for years. We are talking years and years and years of waiting for the versions to sync, and we finally got the versions to sync. So, you know, that is always going to be, like I said, this Vegito Blue is always going to be at the forefront of that, right? He is always going to be the big deal with that, right? It's always, you think about this Vegito Blue in 4 years from now, and you're going to think back to the time where this is the point in the game where Global became caught up to JP and stuff like that. And so with that whole tangent, I believe that it is important that you make this unit as good as possible. And, you know, this unit is the beginning of like a new era of Dokkan, right? Where this Vegito is the mascot for, you know, the game, a power creep. He is the mascot for a overall kind of change in the way that we think about how Dokkan could have possibly gone, right? Because let's be real here for a minute, right? Nobody, and I mean nobody, thought the versions were going to sync at this point, right? Like, you know, we had talked about it, right? A lot of the big figureheads in the community have talked about, like, there's no way the versions are syncing. There's just no reason for them to do it. It doesn't make any sense. And here we are, right? We finally do have the version syncing. And with Vegito being at the forefront of that, like I said, I feel like it was appropriate for him to just be, like, dumb busted, a whole nother level of power. Like he is literally, like, the legends of, or he's the Dokkan version of Ice Shenron, right? He is a new level of power. And unfortunately, I don't think we really got that. I don't know if you can argue, or you can argue that Bulma is better than this unit. You can argue that, you know, what's it called? That Orange Piccolo is better than this unit. And I hate to say that, because I hate that, like I said, that this guy with such a monumental moment in the game's history is not the best unit in the game. But with that being said, it's also incredible what this guy can do, like on a you know, a fight-to-fight basis. This guy's got offensive utility, he's got defensive utility. Now, let's talk about things that I would have done to make the unit better. Now, the first one should be fairly obvious, right? And that is, if we click on Super Saiyan God Goku and Vegeta, the active skill. The condition should have just been, like, we should have just kept it simple, right? It should have just been, turn 4, you get it, right? Like, we don't need to overthink this. We just need to get it done, right? Like, we don't need to make it complicated. We don't need to restrict it. People are summoning for Vegito Blue. They are not summoning for Blue Goku and Vegeta from the Goku Black and Zamasu fight, right? We are summoning for Vegito Blue. We want to say Yosha. We want to do all that fun stuff. That's what we're here to do, right? And in this case, we don't really get that. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way that it played out, right? Because it takes a while to get this Vegito Blue out. Like, it really does. And so, with that being said, I think... like I said, if we were to just make this turn 4, you can pop it. If you want to choose to stack like you can with the year 7 LRs, I think that would have been a nice balance, right? Because think about it. Sometimes with the year 7s, it's smarter to not fuse them turn 4. So that way you can build up their offense, you can build up their defense and stuff like that. So with this Vegito, I think having the choice is ultimately what I want, right? I don't like when Dokkan restricts what I can do on, like, I don't like when Dokkan doesn't give me the choice, right? I like when this game gives you the choice of doing things, right? Think about a unit like, what's his name? STR Final Form Cooler, right? Or, yeah, Final Form Cooler that transformed, or Base Form Cooler that transforms into Final Form. The TUR, right? You don't want to transform him a lot because you know that if you do, you're going to lose that support for everybody else. But you have the choice, right? If you're facing a pure Saiyan, you think it's going to be the last turn, you're going to be able to do those guaranteed crits, you're going to do 3 to 4 supers or whatever, get all those guaranteed crits. You have the choice to not transform and keep the support for like the LR cooler, or you could turn your cooler into the Giga Chad himself and he can do the damage for you with the guaranteed crits, right? But when you do something like this with Vegito, you are like, you give me the choice, but you don't give me like a lot of wiggle room when you do give me the choice, right? You think about a unit, like I said, when you look at a unit like, what's the word? Like the year 7s, right? The choice is there. I can fuse whenever I want when it's turn 4, but the problem is, hey, maybe I haven't built up enough. You know, maybe the orb field is going to be really bad. I'm not going to be able to get the rainbow orbs for the dodge chance or the damage reduction. But when you do this with Vegito, right, it's like, I don't know if I'm going to get another opportunity to pull this off again, right? You might heal up too much. You might not be able to do it anymore. You might not be fighting a Future Saga enemy, or you might have, you know what I mean? So when you put yourself in all those different predicaments, that's where things get tough, right? So that's why, in my opinion, I think if it was just turn 4 and then you can do whatever the hell you want, I think that would have been the smarter way to go about it, right? And it's just like, you know, this is kind of a minor nitpick, but I think it's at least like half justified in terms of like, you really are just stuck into running him, making sure there's a Future Saga category ally on the team, but at least that's easy because of Trunks and Vegeta. But again, it's like, you're restricting his team building, which is already frustrating, and then B, you're also restricting beyond that his active skill condition as well, because you have to be fighting a certain type of enemy. Like right now, it's perfectly fine and convenient because we're only seeing, what's the word? We're only seeing really like Future Saga category enemies because of the current red zone that we are in and stuff like that, right? And the Divine Wrath of Mortal Will event is going to be just fine. But what happens when we get out of that in the future and then we don't have all this Future Saga just like around us at all times, and we're back to doing a GT celebration, we're back to doing a movie celebration, and then he doesn't look nearly as impressive. And well, maybe not nearly as impressive, but it makes using him a lot harder, and that should not be how it works for Vegito freaking Blue, right? We shouldn't have to really overthink it. We should just be like, okay, throw him on the team no matter what, because it's LR Vegito Blue, right? Like, I hope that you guys can understand the sentiment that I'm trying to convey here. And like I said, with all this saying, that's why I got all the positive stuff out of the way first, right? I like to talk about how much I love this unit. I adore this unit. It is so much fun to use him. I have a great time. When I finally get Vegito out, it's a lot of fun. It's just very annoying to try and get to that process, and I hate that they do that because I don't like when Dokkan restricts my ability to do certain things, right? When the game is like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that, because you need this type of enemy, you need this type of ally, you have to wait this many turns, you need to have this amount of HP, right? The beauty, so Vegito Blue's active skill, like his condition when he's in Vegito Blue, is beautiful, because like I said, like we were saying in the beginning, right? When you need it, you will have it. When you want to get the finishing blow, you can do that. When you want to get the what's it called? When you want to get the if you need to use it to get damage, like you need the guaranteed dodges, you will have it, right? Because if you have low HP, you need his dodges, like in this situation right here, right? Let's just say, now the thing is, in this situation, I didn't know it at the time, but with Vegito, if I were to do the active skill, I would easily just be able to throw them in front of the slot 1 attacks, right? Because we know that the active skill is going to finish him off, but what I could have done in theory is if he still had like a full bar of HP, and he had attacks in slot 1, I could pop the active skill, throw him in slot 1, and then he couldn't hit me, right? And then it would just come down to the AoEs doing the damage, right? So this is a very good example of a practical situation where this Vegito Blue is going to look significantly better like this because, you know, when you get him out, it's fine. Everything is like, it's all fine and dandy, right? Like, even if this doesn't kill, we know we have Trunks and Vegeta who are likely going to get a crit and we'll be fine. So we do get the very satisfying win screen with Vegito Blue right there. That one's a tough one to get out sometimes, but there you go, right? So no item run on the Omega Shenron fight, and that is what makes Vegito Blue so good. Like I said, every fight in the game, he has a team for, and you could easily kind of work your way into the team. You could run 2 of him and stuff like that, and you are going to be in business, right? So, you know, with the Omega Shenron fight, this is probably the hardest fight in the game, but I figured I would save the last red zone for last. So, like I said, with changing things, I think that is what you would kind of want to do, right? You just would really need to change the active skill, because I'm a huge fan of the way they formatted his damage reduction. I think it is it's unique. I think when they do stuff like that, I think it's very cool, because we just, like, I am all for giving me, like, a different way to run a unit, right? But the problem comes down to, I don't know why, but the Dokkan info will not load the other version. That's bizarre. But, what's it called, right? When you give me different ways to use the unit, right? Like, where it's like, you know, there's a difference when you have category, like, to me, it's a lot of fun when units have, like, slot 1 and slot 2, kind of like, not restrictions, but different abilities to the point where you want to run them in other slots, right? Because, like, Goku and Vegeta, so, like, let's look at this, right? In slot 1, we get additional attack and extra defense and then dodge chance, right? But we also get additional attack and defense, and has a chance to do more attacks if we put him in slot 2 or slot 3, right? The thing with Trunks and Vegeta is you're really, like, you have to keep them in slot 1 because guard is just such a prominent thing, right? And it just ultimately is always going to come down to you wanting that guard over anything else. And that's where, you know, really, I feel like that is kind of annoying. But with this Trunks and Vegeta, or not with Trunks and Vegeta, with this Vegito, you have a little bit of kind of wig over him, right? It's like, hey, you have a slot 1 unit like Trunks and Vegeta, you can go ahead and safely put them in slot 2 so they can stack and raise their defense. And then by the time you're ready to go, you can kind of move them to slot 1 if you absolutely need to. You have type advantage or something like that. You have those extra buffers to be able to use them in different ways of, like, using the unit, right? So I think overall, that is kind of like, almost everything that I have to say about this unit. I think their link set is phenomenal. I really like their leader skill. If we want to talk about it now, because we're on to, like, towards the end of the video, and if you guys have been here the whole time, I really appreciate that, right? Like, watching me for 52 minutes, like, I can't understate my gratitude for that. You know, this video took a bit, but if we want to look at the teams that he is on: Fate-Induced Battle, Battle Fate, excuse me, Future Saga, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Realm of Gods, Time Travelers, Pure Saiyans, Join Forces, Mastered Evolution, Bond of Parent and Child, Superheroes, Patara, Kamehameha, Final Trump Card, Battle of Wits, Time Limit, High Speed Battle, or is it Accelerated Battle, and then Fused Fighters. That is a lot of, like, some of the best teams in the game, right? The one thing that makes this unit annoying, and it's a very minor thing, right? we cut to the final phase right there, but what makes one thing that is really annoying about this unit is the fact that we do not have what's the word, Earthbred fighters, and that's because of Vegeta, right? Vegeta is always kind of just, like, getting in the way of that because, like, guys, Earthbred fighters is a crazy team, right? Like, Battle of Fate it covers the base, so Earthbred fighters isn't the end of the world. But you are really looking to have, like, Earthbred fighters is just an absolutely insane team. Because, and why I say that is because we get access to Bulma, right? So, you know, without Earthbred fighters, again, you have to kind of, like, work your way around it, right? You would just run double GT Duo to run this unit with Bulma, but you can't, like, sometimes what if there's an AGL boss, right? Because then you don't want to run Bulma or the GT Duo, especially 2 of them with that type disadvantage, right? And eventually we're going to get, like, an AGL boss that's super tough, right? Because we saw what's it called, with AGL Broly, right? That was the hardest fight in the game for over a year, right? Like, it took forever to replace that fight. Like, it took forever for that fight to go. So, you know how that usually goes. But you guys can see here, like, with this one, this is kind of nice because, or this one is where it gets tricky and you don't want to run 2 of the Goku and Vegeta to Vegito because, you know, this is, like, again, like, one of the hardest fights in the game because the type disadvantage, right? Running double at him, you are really going to be in a bad spot because if you take a super in the wrong spot, it's just GG for you, right? And I believe right here we've already used the revival, but we have World Tournament buff, revival Goku's buff. Right here we have Trunks and Vegeta's active skill. So what we'll probably do is raise the defense from the support on that one. Again, I am re-recording. This is pre-recorded, so I've already done everything in this specific video. This is all me just talking over it. But there we go. So we do have decent defense at this point. I know it's hard for me to read, but at this point, but Trunks and Vegeta, my Trunks and Vegeta have not built up very well, and the hit spread is literally just perfect for. You know, this is just Trunks and Vegeta. Just throw everything you got at the friend Trunks and Vegeta that are fully built up at this point. You know, they have their stacking and all that. And then let my Pee-wee Trunks and Vegeta, who are probably not fully built up yet, just take no hits. So a little bit Mickey Mouse, but hey, when it comes to no item runs, that's what it takes sometimes. You just need a little bit of a buffer and a little bit of a stroke of luck, right? And that's what happened right here. We do have, and you guys can see just by looking at it, right? We do have, what's it called? Not much HP. We're 7 turns in at this point, and we're pretty much gaming now. So future Gohan, he's going to hold it down. He's going to do a bunch of supers. And I forget if, yeah, so this will be a good gauge for the super right here. One thing about this Goku Black and Zamasu in specific is they are very spongy, right? So, like, they do damage, but you can get through them pretty quick with damage, right? So, like, you think about a unit like the LR 5 years or something like that with their guaranteed dodges in slot 1. If you can get to this phase by turn 4 and you have those guaranteed dodges, you can just do an astronomical amount of damage in slot 1, and they are really going to be in trouble because they just can't do anything, right? Like, they could try to hit you, but they can't. Like, because, you know, Gogeta and Vegito are just the kings of bobbing and weaving, and they are a lot of fun. So, yeah, we're coming up to a wrap on this World Tour video for VEGITO. I think what we'll do going forward, if you guys want a World Tour for any specific unit, where, you know, maybe we can't no item everything, but at the very least we can take them into every hard fight in the game, try to win, and then talk about them like we have in this specific medium. We can at the very least try it. But I can't always guarantee that we have, you know, as much success as we've had with full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku as well as Vegito, right? Because right here, again, this was a skill issue because I didn't realize they had the guaranteed dodges. So what I probably could have done is just thrown them in slot 1. But what I did was I held it down with full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I'm like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to be just fine with it right here. And then we do end up just taking the L on that. But the GT Duo is more than enough to clean this up, especially with Super Saiyan 4 Goku doing the damage that he's going to do. I believe he does like 8 million right here. It's like 7.9, I think. Yeah, 7.9. And then he gets this in, and then the GT Duo cleans up for the no item run. So, you know, again, Vegito, if I had to rate him on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give him a solid 9.5, maybe even like a 9.75. This is a very good unit, but again, as the case is now for most of the units in the game, they do tend to have that fraud turn, so that can get a little bit frustrating, but all in all, this is a very phenomenal unit that is a lot of fun to use, and you should not feel like you should not let the social media clamoring that he is mid, you know, stop you from having fun with this unit. So that was the World Tour for LR Blue Vegito. All of the not all of the hard fights in the game, but all of the final bosses within the game right now, Omega Shenron. So if we just want to recap, we have all of the Red Zone final bosses as well as Omega Shenron and Cell Max. I feel that was a great medium. So if you guys did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, as well as turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. Hopefully you guys have Vegito Blue because he's a lot of fun to use, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.